My name is Amelia, and 32 years have passed since I was born. I am currently experiencing marriage for the first time. As for my husband Daniel, it's his second marriage. We are the same age and now we are building a new family together. His family runs a charming inn in the suburbs, and we are both involved in its management. The work at the inn is diverse and very demanding, but it is surrounded by nature, and every day is fulfilling. Daniel's father is kind and sincere. He doesn't have to say much. You can just feel what kind of person he is. My husband is similar in that regard. I get along very well with my father-in-law, but, by contrast, there's some tension with Julie, my mother-in-law. Previously, I started my career in New York after college, working as a salesperson at a trading company, enjoying busy yet fulfilling days. I knew my husband at that time as an acquaintance from college. He returned to his hometown 5 years ago to marry and take over the family business, but that marriage ended. I reconnected with him when he visited New York for unconnected business, and eventually, we developed a romantic relationship.
I want to be with you for the rest of my life. Will you marry me?
When he proposed, I was deeply conflicted. I loved him, but faced with the reality of marriage, I couldn't just be happy. He'd warned me about his parents' traditional views. As the eldest son's wife, I'd need to join their household. Choosing marriage meant giving up my beloved job. I was proud and passionate about my work, so this decision was incredibly tough. His kindness and sincerity pushed me to decide, and I chose to move in with his parents. At first, my mother-in-law Julie opposed our marriage because she preferred his ex-wife. She said the ex-wife was kind and attentive, and they enjoyed a close relationship, even spending weekends together. The divorce, she believed, wasn't because of overspending, a reason she hasn't accepted.
I can judge people well. I can't believe she was that kind of person.
She hadn't accepted the true reason for the divorce. From the start, I was the target of her sharp criticisms.
Dressed like that, how will you represent the inn? You're just asking for a divorce.
She judged my clothing, comparing me to Daniel's ex-wife.
Sales isn't for women. A wife should support her husband quietly.
She didn't understand my career. Perhaps viewing me as a woman and concerned with family life, her harsh words quickly hurt me. Yet, Daniel always stood up for me.
Her presence warms my heart. You'll like her, Mom. Please, be kind to her.
His support made me hope for a better relationship with Julie. I've worked hard at the end, aiming to earn praise from her, who opposed our marriage from the start. Since the day she criticized me, she hasn't complained directly, but her resentment was obvious in her attitude, and our relationship didn't improve. On her worst days, she would ignore me completely. More troubling than Julie were Noah, my brother-in-law, and Jody, my sister-in-law. Especially Noah, who lives alone an hour away by car, without a steady job, wasting his days gambling. When he runs out of money, he demands more from his parents or visits us, saying,
"You look tired. You look much older than you actually are. Daniel's ex-wife was hot, and you."
He would add insultingly,
"You should be nicer to me. You're depressing. At least put on a smile."
I smile at guests, but his words make it impossible to smile at him. Anger rises within me, but I endure to avoid more conflict. It's also stressful when he frequently asks to join us for dinner.
"How about you make dinner for me tonight?"
After I cook,
"What is this taste? Can't you cook properly?"
he complains. His words are heavier without my husband present. After he leaves, I often cry alone because of his stinging words. Jody fills her rare visits with criticism.
Why are you so unfashionable? Daniel's ex was stylish and charming. Why did my brother marry someone so lame?
I've kept quiet, but snapped when compared to the ex-wife. My husband and I deeply trust each other. He likes me for who I am, I said. My sister-in-law got angry and shouted,
Daniel's ex had class. How can you even go out looking like that? Don't make a fool out of my brother. Look in the mirror. Try harder.
I took her words silently, but she became even harsher.
Honestly, I wish you'd divorce soon. You're embarrassing us.
They both verbally abuse me. Only my husband and father-in-law are supportive, scolding them if they see the bullying. They're my refuge. Julie remains indifferent, not joining or condemning the mistreatment. I have friends who are happily married with good relations with their in-laws. Their stories often leave me feeling alone in my difficult situation. I kept asking myself, is this okay? But eventually, I decided to talk to my husband.
Actually, my mother does acknowledge you. When we're not together, she often speaks of you. She respects your work ethic.
She apparently told him.
I appreciate her hard work. I just worry about her overworking.
Mom struggles to express her feelings, so opening up might take time. Please be patient.
His words surprised me and I was thankful to know she cared. From then on, I made efforts to improve our rapport, sharing more than just work stories. To improve our relationship, I gave her gifts and sought ways to make conversations meaningful. After 5 years, we found out I was pregnant. My husband and I were thrilled. When we shared the news, Julie gave me a heartfelt smile for the first time.
We need to support each other as a family now. It's tough, but let's do it together.
Her words made me feel her support. She began treating me kindly, like turning over a new leaf. She would speak to me with warmth and thoughtfulness.
Take care of your health and don't overwork. Tell me if you feel unwell.
These words comforted me during my morning sickness.
If you crave something, let me know. It's best for you to eat what you want.
Her kindness was a pillar for me. Despite indifferences in the past, now she was genuinely caring. I was overjoyed at this change and finally felt accepted as part of the family. I sighed with relief. After having my son, we returned to my in-laws, where Noah and Jody were visiting, supposedly to celebrate. Their attitudes were unchanged. The sarcasm towards me persisted. As I struggled to calm my crying baby, Noah came up to me to complain.
You're married into this family. You must prioritize housework, then child rearing. Working hard and caring for the family daily is your duty.
Jody, displeased with my bettering relationship with Julie, confronted me when we were alone.
Don't get too comfortable. One word to mom and you're out.
Yet, Julie stood by me unshaken. She had witnessed Jody's words and scolded her immediately.
Why would you say such cruel things? Raising a child is hard. I needed help to raise you two. We all support each other. If you ever speak like that again, you won't be part of this family anymore.
Touched by Julie's tough love, I expressed my deepest thanks. When I hugged her saying thanks, she responded with a gentle smile.
You are a precious member of our family.
That moment sparked a deep affection for Julie in my heart. We might not be close friends yet, but her caring for me as family was comforting. Noah and Jody kept bringing their sarcasm on visits, but knowing Julie, Daniel, and father-in-law supported me, gave me strength to endure. But one day, my father-in-law died suddenly from a heart attack. He felt tired and thought resting for a while would help. So he went to lay down alone in his room. By the time Julie found him, it was too late. He had already passed away. After the funeral, my husband and I comforted Julie and shared memories of her husband. She inherited all his property and insurance money. Daniel took over the family and, with support from Julie, me, and the staff, Julie never shed tears in front of us. Though her loneliness sometimes showed, I could sense her inner sadness, which brought us closer. She was determined to keep being going, honoring her husband's legacy.
We must continue to do our best to make it a place that is loved and appreciated by our customers. I, for one, cannot afford to be weak.
Inspired by her strength, I yearned to emulate her resilience. In the 3 years since his death, her health declined, and she stepped back from the inn. Busy with the inn, I remained concerned for her and visited whenever I could. I bought the plates you love so we can enjoy good food together, I offered. I chose elegant dishware as a gift, hoping to brighten her mealtimes. I deeply wished this would help her regain some vitality.
Thank you. What lovely dishware. I will cherish it. By the way, I have something to tell you.
She continued, looking serious. I sat by her bed attentively.
Thank you for all you've done. I apologize for my past harshness towards you. I've wanted to apologize for so long, but my pride didn't let me. Thank you for your dedication to the inn and my son. Even when I was mean, you were always kind. I regret not being nicer from the start. I'm sorry it's so late, but please forgive me.
She apologized sincerely. In this moment, I couldn't hold my tears. I too have always wished for a better relationship between us. But it's never too late, I shared with her my earnest wish.
Thank you. You really are an important part of our family,
she said, holding my hand with affection. After that, we openly shared our thoughts. On her good days, we enjoyed the sunshine and nice conversations. My son adored her. They often chatted joyfully. Our family's bond deepened, enriching our time together. Sadly, 2 years later, she passed away from a heart attack. Noah and Jody also attended the memorial. Julie had a will prepared by a lawyer, and the heirs gathered to review it, thinking it didn't concern me. I was about to leave with my son when my husband intervened.
You are an indispensable member of this family. Please stay here.
Hesitant to confront Noah and Jody, I was moved by his plea and decided to stay. Jody started muttering complaints, unhappy with my presence.
I don't see why an outsider should be at this important family event. Please leave.
She snapped. Her comment escalated the tension, but my husband countered calmly yet firmly.
My wife is a vital part of this family. She should be here. Or do you object?
After a moment of silence, she answered, her words less clear.
I'm just concerned about what others think. I personally don't have any problem, of course.
She seemed to back down, albeit grudgingly. Then, the lawyer began to read the will as the room fell silent. The contents were unexpected. My husband and I would each inherit half of the estate, Julie had saved most of the inheritance and insurance after her husband. As expected, Noah and Jody objected strongly.
What's the meaning of this? She isn't even related.
Right? Why does she inherit and we get nothing? Don't you have anything to say?
I was completely taken aback, at a loss for words, just standing there dazed.
Renounce the inheritance already.
Anger was evident in her tone, making the atmosphere even more strained. However, the lawyer spoke up quietly but clearly amidst the tension. He began to detail how much the deceased appreciated what Amelia had done for the family. While Julie was ill, Amelia was the family member who was always present, in contrast to others who seldom visited. The lawyer emphasized Amelia's constant support.
She was not just any daughter-in-law, but a true family member deeply integrated into our lives.
The lawyer stated, conveying the deep appreciation Julie had for me. Upon hearing this, Jody became visibly upset, unable to accept the truth of these words.
I can't believe Mother said that.
I simply stood there, silently watching her reaction. After the exchange, the lawyer continued.
If everyone's ready, I will now read the statement left by the deceased. Is that all right?
He inquired, maintaining a composed attitude. The will, echoing Julie's voice, was then read by the lawyer, revealing complex feelings towards Noah and Jody.
To my beloved son and daughter, I regret how you've always been so dependent financially on me, and how I kept enabling it. Amelia was different. She remained sincere and dedicated, showing love and respect without financial motive. Leaving her my estate seems only natural. I know all about the bullying you've subjected her to. If you do not change, I've told Daniel to sever any ties with you if he wishes to do so. Please accept this will, learn from it, and live on with sincerity and integrity in your hearts.
Jody and Noah were speechless in the face of such stern words. They received the legal minimum share, while the majority of the estate was passed to me and my husband. Months after sorting Julie's effects, Noah unexpectedly showed up in need of a loan. He lost all money on horse races, but he said he'll work for it.
The inheritance you received should have been mine. It's only fair to share some with me.
He boldly stated. Daniel, frustrated, heaved a deep sigh.
You still haven't changed.
He remarked and sternly added,
Even if it's mom's legacy, it won't fund your gambling. I'm restraining my anger for Amelia's sake, hoping for reconciliation. But next time, I'll cut ties.
With that, he sent Noah away. A month later, Jody visited asking for help too.
I'm seeing someone. We want to get married. He's in debt. $50,000. Without it, we could start anew. We can't raise this sum by ourselves, but after marrying, we'll be able to give you back everything. Could you lend us the money?
My husband and I were lost for words. She pressed on through her silence.
You got an inheritance, right? Can you share some with me? It was Mom's, so it's wrong for others to use it.
Inside, I sighed deeply, irritated by her stance but reluctant to confront my husband's sister. Daniel, sensing my feelings, finally broke the silence.
Stop. Are you still so careless? I might have helped if you were truly set on marriage, but I can't tolerate your rudeness to my wife. I'm angry at how you've treated her. I won't support you anymore. This conversation is over. Please leave.
It was the first time I saw my calm husband express himself so angrily. I felt surprised and somewhat relieved. Jody, perhaps intimidated, quickly left. Our life then continued peacefully. Rumor had it, Noah was drowning in gambling debts, haunted by debt collectors, while Jody was abandoned by her partner for failing to secure money. I found it hard to sympathize. Despite missing Julie and her husband, I anticipated our future, nurturing our son, and preserving the inn. The inheritance will be saved for our son's adult path. When he marries, we'll warmly welcome his family, expanding our circle.
Thinking of the future already.
He asked with a smile.